Politically correct discourses are fake. They are just a tool to sympathize with people, but in the end, they don't mean anything. Hi, I'm Maria Paula Bermeo, clinical psychologist, and on this channel, we talk about everything related to, of course, psychology. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Before starting this video, I want to remind you that I give in-person therapy. And if you're out of the city, I got you because I also give online therapy. So if you need a consultation, please feel free to reach me out on my social media, my phone number, my email. All of them will be listed down below on the description box as well. It just takes a quick Google Wikipedia research to know what does politically correct mean. Political correctness, adjectively politically correct, commonly abbreviated to PC, is a term used to describe language, policies, or measures that are intended to avoid offense or disadvantage to members of particular groups in society. Since the late 1980s, the term has been used to describe a preference for inclusive language and avoidance of language or behavior that can be seen as excluding, marginalizing, or insulting to groups of people disadvantaged or discriminated against, particularly groups defined by ethnicity, sex, gender, sexual orientation, or disability. And nowadays, in this society we're living in, it could mean what sounds right for the people. Why I, as a psychologist, is making this a topic of conversation? Because it has led to a notorious global chaos. Minorities have been looking for equal rights for a long time. It is a fact that they were mistreated and excluded once upon a time, hence why many social movements emerged. Black Lives Matter, feminism and Me Too, LGBTQ+, body positivity and fat acceptance, and more. These people raise their voices to be heard and be treated as actual human beings, which is fair and they got it. But what happens when they are still loud despite getting everything they've wanted? They start monopolizing everything and a part of the society gets brainwashed. Politics are the best example to portray this topic. They have always been brought to the conversation, but especially in the last year, because many individuals have realized how deceiving politicians can be. Apparently, many countries have been choosing their authorities lately, so we have been able to hear a ton of public figures talking and also analyze what they say. Therefore, we've also had the chance to open our eyes and notice the dichotomy their words and their actions have, and how this contrast has opened them a door to control society as a whole, all through lies and manipulation. Candidates are always speaking out for the poor, for the discriminated races and genders, saying they will ditch the rich, the conservatives, so everyone can flourish and be prosper, that they will prioritize diversity. But do they? Their discourses are sure full of nice words. Equity, advance, evolution, phrases like I also come from a poor and hard-working family, because they try to portray themselves as empathetic and relatable, as someone that understands your struggles to make you believe they will fight to solve them because they know how hard it is to face life. But then all of those things end up flying in the air. Politicians are trained to convey a message that people want to hear. All of them try to look sensitive and compassionate because humans are conditioned to follow those who seem approachable, as they are biologically designed to look for security. They are aware of that, but later on they don't generate any change. The problem is that they still manipulate people through their words to keep gaining sympathy and maintain their position. We are listening to you. We understand the concerns and frustrations you have, but no, we are working for our citizens' benefit. Please just be patient. They gaslight everyone for damage control, to blind the rest of the population and make them believe everything is fine. And those are actually traits of narcissism. Narcissistic individuals do not focus on their physical attractiveness exclusively. There are other aspects that define them. Narcissists use their charisma, their intelligence, their wealth, power, and or their physical or mental strength to get whatever they want, even when that damages others. And we've been able to see it through history, especially when we make a recap of the politically correct discourses. We've seen how leaders always bring a fake sense of hope and fake promises. This is why later, when someone sincere arrives, people get outraged. I think a great example is what happened in Argentina when Javier Milei ran as a candidate and won the elections. Some were and are still outraged by the things he has said because, unfortunately, it is not what society expected him to say. We don't have money, we are going to stop giving out unnecessary salaries to people just because they have to work. We are eliminating the women's rights ministry because they don't do anything but spend money that could be invested in better stuff. It's unnecessary because females do have rights. The thing is, he stopped being politically correct for a great reason. He is the first president in ages who is showing a real panorama to his people. He has been breaking the fantasy many individuals were living on. He is putting all of his efforts to open society's eyes, and certainly it is for the better. As a psychologist, I can assure you that many of people's mental health issues come from politically correct discourses, because through them, people get convinced that they will always live as a victim unless they find some hero that saves them. Politically correct words only cause more division than you could ever imagine. These words you hear and you get moved by only close your mind and make you a puppet from those who only want power for themselves. Politically correct preachers are just like a manipulative partner that makes you believe that without them, you'll be nothing. But then, when you finally leave them, you realize that that was just a plan to keep you next to them. Leaders telling you a certain group of people has been damaging you through their wealth is implanting the implicit idea that having money is bad and struggling economically is just for the good ones, so that you demonize the idea of actually working, but instead live from the crumbs they give you, because at least they are financing all of your wishes for free, so you can have the easiest life as possible. Telling you everything will be accepted is just letting everyone live without rules, even when there are laws that are supposed to regulate society. See what's happening in many places? Kids that are definitely not able to consent sexual encounters, ironically, are able to choose their sexuality when they are not fully conscious of what it actually means and involves. People believe that they can protest, close streets, vandalize small businesses just so they can receive money to live comfortably without any effort. That they can arrive to others' homes and demand luxury just for being in a vulnerable position. That they have to receive a better salary than others just for being part of a minority, even when they don't work as hard. Again, it all sums up to the victim mentality. That is why I, as someone that studies the human mind, encourage you to pay attention to these characteristics. Because most of the time, if not every time, they're just part of a strategy to dominate in a wide scale, to cover people's eyes, to make them actual slaves. Politically correct speeches are useful for the ones practicing it, as they get to monopolize everything. But for receptors, these discourses mean nothing, because they only cause you to be unhappy, to live full of envy and bitterness, to constantly compare yourself with others and not doing anything to be better, to live in a cycle of self-destruction instead of reaching self-actualization, which in the end only harms you and your own mental sanity. Is there anything you learned from this video or something that you would like to add to the conversation? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video and share with someone that may need it. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out for more interesting psychology content. Thanks for watching.